vast. Who goes there? Who be you? Hi, this is Chimes Media and I'm James Williams. Okay, I wanted to talk about monopolising your interests and assets and things, and how it's dangerous to have everything in one basket, if you like. And one of the things that prompted me was that I was looking for an alternative form of lighting and energy for my home. Like everyone, a lot of other people in the Western world, you've got gas, electric, that sort of thing. But I was concerned that we're being forced to take on everything electric, even down to motor cars, things like that. So it's a single source of energy. Of course, it's got a long way to go before we get rid of things like diesel and petrol and things like that. But nevertheless, in that mode of thinking, I wanted to buy what is called a hurricane lamp, a storm lamp, the old oil lantern version. And my dad used to use it. We lived up in Lincolnshire, and some of the winters were really bitterly cold. And he had sort of an open air garage with no doors on it. So he'd stick this hurricane lantern under the bonnet of the car, because he didn't trust the antifreeze. And the idea is it generated a bit of heat, which stopped the car freezing to nothing, just going solid. But that in mind, I set out to try and find one. Well, everywhere they've got, oh, we got LED storm lantern. No, I don't want anything electric. It's got to be completely separate from electric. And eventually, I found them on eBay. Well, okay, I found the product. It was like £7.39, I think it was, without any shipping as well. Brilliant, a real bargain. So I went to pay for it, wouldn't accept it. Now, I've got a thing against PayPal after their attack on Subscribestar and being behind the blocking out of a number of talkers on YouTube and other platforms, and being involved in controlling Patreon and shutting down Patreon accounts. I think what's going on is a purge of many people who are completely innocent of anything, and it's designed. It's a means of control. You come with us and you obey our rules, or else, So when I went to pay on eBay, there were three options. Two of them were PayPal related, and the other one was pay by your debit or credit card. So I went for that one. Now, I got a Barclays debit Visa card, and I do lots of shopping with it. Never had a problem with it, nor with Barclays Bank, but it wouldn't accept it. So I thought, I contacted the helpers, and they phoned me back. eBay phoned me back, and I said, well, what is the problem? What's the problem with this? I wasn't rude. I just wanted to know what the problem was. And they said, well, there's no error code on the rejection. I said, yeah, I can see that, but what is the problem? And you know what it was? Well, I can't prove it, but it's strongly suspicious that PayPal have blocked me from any dealings with eBay. I think they control eBay, because what was revealed by the helper was that in spite of not ticking the PayPal box, they're the ones that process the card payment. Well, what the hell does it got to do with PayPal? This is eBay. So that's kind of interesting. And the thing is, I left PayPal because of their actions against other people as much as anything else. I didn't like their principles. I don't like the culture they're trying to force upon people, because I do not believe that financial institutions should sanction people just because of their political beliefs. I don't care what flavour of party or political activity you believe in. I don't think you should be prevented from access to, or using your means of payments. But anyway, that's the way it came across. So I can't prove it 100%. Strongly suspicious, since there was no other factors. And my wife went on later on and bought something on eBay with no problem at all. But the helper told me, oh, you have to contact your bank. I says, well, why would I need to contact my bank? When it's a legitimate payment. I've got a Visa card, protects my payments and everything else. Don't understand it. He couldn't explain it. It's not his fault. So anyway, that in mind, that was my little story about things. So going back to the idea, having a storm lantern, which is oil powered, you can usually use paraffin, or apparently you can use other oils as well, but if you use like chip fat oil or something, it can be a bit smoky and that, which is kind of if you want that sort of effect, but I don't want to fill the house up with smoke. But it's a good idea to have it as an emergency lighting, means of lighting and heating as well to some extent. Having a storm lantern, you know, in the cupboard or something, just like with a load of candles, things like that. In fact, they're safer than candles, because candles can catch fire to all kinds of things, but at least with a storm lantern, you know, it's enclosed and protected as such. So yeah, that's a good. I would recommend other people to do that, just as a tip. But it's kind of interesting because just over a year ago, I was forced to give up work, and my work is in the shipping industry as a deck officer, and because of an illness, I couldn't do it anymore. So that was it. So, but like a lot of people, you have a singular line of work. You're specialised in a certain area, and if something happens to you which prohibits you from carrying that job, you're out. You've got no other means of income, which is how it sort of basically left me. I'm not completely out on the street or anything like that, but it certainly severely curtailed, you know, me this way. But a lot of people are not in that situation. A lot of people don't have, say, like qualifications, or there's all sorts of reasons. They've got health issues and kind of that kind of stuff, and they can't, you know, go out and independently earn a living. And she's all very well, and for those who are lucky enough to have high IQs and, you know, a good job, or very successful at creators, things like that, you know, you've got to understand that not everybody is lucky as you. You know, so when you say, well, it's you know, it's just tough, yeah, well, that's people's lives, and then all the other issues come in as well. One of the things about wealth is not necessarily just about, it's not about having money so much, that helps. Wealth is about having choice, which money brings. So if you've got lots of a big income, that gives you more choice in life to do things, go out and buy stuff if you want, or change jobs even, that sort of thing. Poverty is about choice. It's about, if you've got no choices, a restriction of choices, then you, technically speaking, are poor. Now, on a bigger scale, what I'm also concerned about is the pooling of knowledge and resources into computerization. Now, there clearly is, with the big tech companies, it seems to be indicating this. They want to have, well, they've all virtually established a monopoly, and the monopoly control and access to all data that you have, I have, whether it be personal, whether it be intellectual, whether it be historical, or even financial. They want to have total control over that, which is a big alarm bell for me, because my parents lived through World War II, and so we had all the sort of thing about Nazis, and I've read the Gulag Archipelago about how the Soviets did it, and all of them, doesn't matter whether you think they're left or right wing, are all authoritarian in nature, and all of them want total control, totalitarianism. That's what it's about. So we're seeing the attempt by the tech companies, the big mainstream media giants. If you go on YouTube to look for a search for a particular program, you get pages and pages of all the lamestream media offerings, which I don't like, because they're just mainly all bilge. And you have to go about 3-4 pages before you get to someone you actually like to listen to, who would actually talk sense. But this is what's happening. Everything's being concentrated into a particular a channel and a means of control. And if you don't conform, then you're thrown out to the margins. So thank God for the likes of BitChute and Minds.com and Gab and Subscribestar and any of the others coming through. We need them. They are the defence against this encroaching totalitarian tech takeover. And I go to meetings, and there's one group there that I go to attend to, really nice people, but they come out with things which are rhetorical. they'll say, oh, Trump is a bad person or something. I don't care whether you like Trump or not. Maybe he has confessed, oh yeah, I've been bad in the past. That's not the point. The fact is, how do they know these things? They only know it because they've been told it. And they come out with things like, there'll be things like, about the patriarchy, or there'll be social media is bad. None of them have got a view that's formed independently of their own thinking. They come out with these things, and you pick up these signals. And I actually said at one of the meetings, I feel kind of isolated. And I said, well, not so much amongst you guys because you're nice people, but it's in my way of thinking. I feel sort of isolated. But this is part of the game. So people like me who think a little bit differently, or think outside the box, or think critically, we are somehow a threat, as if we're going to go around with Kalashnikovs and shoot a load of people or something. We're a threat for some weird reason. And that's because the little people like me, collectively, stand in the way of their ultimate control of society, of the way we think, the way our children are brought up. And, we are, if they take over, we are going to be living a kind of a hell. And those that don't realise it will be quite happy with their blue pill, matrix blue pill. But those who do realise it, the potential red pills, will be weeded out, re-educated, or whatever other malevolent thinking ideas that they've got for us, they'll be lined up for us. So that's all I've got to say for now, and I'd be interested for your thoughts. Do you feel that we are being taken over from different angles? Because I feel very seriously that I'm very concerned about not just me personally, my family, but my society and the way humanity is going. We're being railroaded. The hostility, if you dare to ask a question which isn't approved of, that is clear and it's present. But when you hear people repeating what they've seen on the BBC as if it's their own thoughts, and they don't even realise it, that to me is a frightening prospect. Until next time, take care of yourself.